Hey, what's up, YouTube guys, family? Larry here. Yeah, it's me. I put in a pretty good day's work, and I'm sitting on my front porch on the 1,200 acres. I got a cabin. It ain't mine. I just get to use it, but it's wisdom. I mean, the Lord has blessed me. You would not believe. I don't even understand it. But I've been trying to tell people the truth, and they act like I'm crazy. And I've always been able to see through the bullshit and make things work. It's like, here's an example. When I was in my 20s, I just got back from the Navy, and I went to construction, and we was working at P&G, building a couple big buildings down there for P&G, Procter and Gamble in Cincinnati. And my boss is like, "Hey, Larry, I got four guys down here in Tunnel A, and they're jackhammering a hole through the bulkhead for a gas line, and they're not getting anything done. I don't know what's wrong. Go down there and figure that out for me." I'm like, okay. And I was a young guy. I mean, most of the people were older than me, and I was telling them what to do. And I've did that all my life. In the Navy, every job I've ever been, I end up having to tell older people what to do, and they don't like it. And you have to learn how to do it. So, I don't know. But he sent me down there. I went down in the tunnel way, and I watched them guys, and I played their game for about 5 minutes. They were wrestling this 90-pound jackhammer up shoulder height, trying to do this, get this hole through the wall, and they were all over the place and making a mess. And about 5 minutes into it, I'm like, "Stop, shut it off." And I told one of the helpers, I said, "Go get me a 12-foot choker and a couple shackles." And they're like, "What?" And I said, "Just go do it." And so when he come back, I rigged the jackhammer up. I had a couple of the helpers hold it up where it needed to be, and I rigged it to a beam overhead and got it level and where it needed to be. And shoot, we was just one of us could run it then. You just had to hold the trigger and if you understand how a jackhammer works, it was actually doing. We were getting more done because of and one guy was doing it, and the other four of us were shooting the crap. And my boss come down, and he's like, "Larry, why are you guys sitting around?" I'm like, "Dude, we're getting way more done." And he got to looking around, and he's like, "Well, I guess you're right." He's like, "Two of you come with me, or three." I think he just left two of us there. I said, "Dude, you're taking my help." And he just slapped me on the back and was like, "Yeah, good job, Larry." But I say that when you try to do that to people in life, when you try to help them out and they're doing something and it's all hard, and you say, "Hey, I know a better way," they're like, "You're crazy." And I wish it was all like construction where you could just say, "Hey, I kind of like being the boss." But anyway, because I don't have to do stupid stuff when I'm running the crew. I don't have to do all this stupid stuff. I don't have to do something John told me to do, and I'm like, "Man, this is dumb." That's why I've always liked working for myself, because I don't have to do stupid stuff, and we can get the job done quicker. But then when I come at life, and uh, I try to explain to people that the Earth's flat, and the oil companies have took over, and the COVID virus is not really a big deal, and vaccines are horrible, and just even these numbers on the COVID virus, if you study it out, I mean, if someone dies of third stage cancer in a hospital, the hospital don't get much funding, but if they can mark corona on that, they get like 13 grand. So everyone who dies of any kind of a thing is COVID-19. It's money. But when you can see through the bullshit, you're going to take a lot of slack from the ignorant people. And I don't mean to call you names. Ignorant is not stupid. Ignorance means you don't know. Like them 4 helpers did not know that they could rig that jackhammer up and just, it was easy. And when I showed them that, they were like, "Oh, Larry, thank you." And that's how it is in this world. Things are quite simple, but everyone, y'all believe in the media and freaking out, wearing masks. Oh, the flu's killed more people than the COVID. Corona. The corny virus, I call it. The corny virus. But I'm just a simple hillbilly preacher, and I've always had simple ways, and I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes, but the Lord has blessed me, and I think simply because I believe Him. I mean, faith. Faith is huge, people. Believing in God Almighty. Like when I tell someone the earth is flat and they say, "Oh, NASA says it ain't." I'm like, well, God said it is flat in over 200 scriptures. I mean, it's unmovable, that's still, it's got bottomless pits. He formed the earth like a guy with a signet ring to the wax seal, pressed down. And if I just believe God, I don't believe man. And then people tell me, "Oh, you're crazy." I mean, I posted a thing earlier and someone said, "Well, no, I don't believe it. It's because it's a flat earther done it." And so I'm like, well, I'm a flat earther. So if I say 2 plus 2 is 4, does that automatically make it wrong? Because I do not believe in the spinning NASA cartoon fake ball. I guess people are so blinded, all they can do is watch TV, and the TV was designed to be a weapon against us. The TV wasn't for your entertainment. The TV was to program you. TV programming, television. Look at the patents. Go back and look at why they made it, how they made it, and what they made it for. It's a programming thing. That's devil's been working this plan since he tricked Eve, and if you don't understand, he rules people with money and fame. And I mean, years ago I looked into, they sold their soul for rock and roll. That's a great documentary if you want something to look at. They sold their soul for rock and roll. And you know, my mom turned the devil down. He offered her a music deal. I mean, she's opened up for George Jones and Travis Trent. She did Patsy Cline in Las Vegas. Mom was pretty big there for a minute, and the devil offered her a deal in the bathroom mirror one morning. And she told him flat out, "No, I got a buddy, Tim, got the same thing offered to him." And all these rulers of the world had the same offer to them. They can serve Satan and his agenda and be blessed and have money and all that. It's just the way it works. But I've always been able to see through the bullshit. I've hardly ever been scammed because, I mean, when I had a church, I was pastoring, this guy come in begging money one Sunday, and he's like, "I had to get my transmission fixed and this and that." And when I listened to him, I'm like, "You're full of shit, dude." I thought that to myself. So I went out and crawled under his car. His transmission hadn't been took out ever. There was grease all over it. You could tell. Nobody had laid a wrench on that transmission for years. And I come back in and I said, "You're full of shit, dude." I didn't say that. I was a pastor. I said, "You're lying, man. Your transmission's never been out." And he looked at me and he wanted to go. He's like, "Well, I said, just hang around to the end." But he didn't. And he got out there. He schemed $200 or more out of my flock, and it made me mad. And then when I got to talking to the churches around the county, he had hit like 6 of them. And dude made about $1,000 that weekend, if I figured out right. But I seen right through his bull crap. And when you see through bull crap, people that are ignorant and blind and just watch TV, they say you're stupid. You don't know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, open your eyes. But either way, we're not to call them stupid. I'm sorry that you don't have eyes to see, but it's just the way it is. So when I get on here and tell you something, it's not me just pulling something out of the air. It's something that I've studied out, and I believe in my heart, because I cannot ever, from day one, being a pastor or a foreman or whatever, I cannot tell you something with, faith if I don't believe it. And I've never seen a time where ignorance called wisdom stupid. And that happens to me every day. I can bring someone wisdom, and in their ignorance, they'll say, "You're stupid." And I'm like, tried to help, whatever. And I'm learning that it's not my job to wake everybody up. If you don't have eyes to see, move along. Go wear a mask, get a vaccine, do whatever. I tried. I've seen dudes struggle and beat and thump and try, work their hind end off to get a place. And I've just never cared about money and things. I always just trust in the Lord. And, I'll give my last dollar away, whatever. It don't matter to me. And look, I live better than anyone in my family as far as my place. And even my bosses are like, "Larry, you got a better place than we do." I'm taking care of my boss's property, and I live in a better place than they do. And they tell me that. And they love me. It's just a great thing. I don't, the Lord blesses me. My kids are healthy. I mean, I'm not blessed in every area. For some reason, I don't have a woman, because I don't know. I ain't figured that one out. I'm working on it. I'm learning. But I'm just telling you right now, if you can't believe a guy when he's telling you the truth, and you want to believe in all this other, what man's telling you, you should open your Bible and read the thing. Pretty simple. Hey, I love you. Caramba. You know what caramba means? I'm sorry. I love you guys. Just don't judge a feller by your standards, I should say. Later. Love you guys.